This app in the App Store is making $4 million per month, and in this screenshot you can see proof of these numbers. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I copied it without writing a single line of code using just AI tools. Now, most people think that you need years of coding experience to build a successful app. But what if I told you that AI can now build entire apps for you? iScanner is a PDF document scanner that lets users scan, edit, and organize their documents directly from their phone. It's one of the top productivity apps on the App Store right now. I used only one AI tool to build this entire app, and it is the best AI coding tool available right now. All you have to do is just prompt your idea and the AI builds your app. But here's what I've never shown before on my channel ever. Now, building the app is only half the battle, right? The real challenge is getting it into the App Store without having to deal with complicated submission processes. So that's why in this video, I'm finally going to reveal the second AI tool that makes App Store submission completely seamless. So that by the end of this video, you are going to have the complete step-by-step system to build and publish your own app without having to write a single line of code. So there's no programming experience required, no technical headaches, just pure AI-powered app creation that actually works. So if you've ever wanted to build an app, but you always thought it was too complicated, stick around. I promise you it's going to be a good one, because what you're about to see will completely change how you think about app development in 2026. All right, so in this specific tutorial, we're going to go step by step using Base 44 and Despia. Base 44 to build the app with AI, and Despia to easily submit the app to the App Store. Now, I added a special link in the description down below for both of those tools. Before adding any features or scanner tools even, I want to make sure that our app actually has a place for everything to live, because it's a lot easier to build functionality when the layout is already mapped out. So the first step here is setting up the front end and getting the main screens all in place. Now, to do that, we need to give Base 44 this exact prompt. Create a new application called Document Scanner Pro. Build the foundational front end first. Add a mobile navigation bar with sections for dashboard, history, and settings. Create a user-friendly interface with a modern color scheme suitable for a productivity app, and make sure it's mobile optimized. And with that, Base 44 builds the structure out right away. It creates a clean mobile navigation bar here with the 3 sections that we needed. It sets up a modern color scheme, and it lays out each screen so that everything is organized from the very start. Now, even though nothing works just yet, the app already looks like a real document scanner. The dashboard is in place, the history tab is ready, and the settings page is set up for later customization. Now, uploading a document sounds simple enough, right? But it's actually the moment where a scanner app starts to look real. Now, this is exactly the point where a user interacts with it for the first time. So like choosing a photo, seeing it appear on their screen, and knowing they're just one tap away from scanning. So in this step, I'm setting up that entire flow now. I'm picking an image, I'm previewing it instantly, and getting the interface ready for the AI features we'll build next. Now, in order to set this part up, we're going to instruct Base 44 with this. Create the upload functionality that accepts image files. Whenever an image is uploaded, have it show in the preview area. Make sure the interface is intuitive and build a Scan Now button. Don't build the scanning feature yet. And with that prompt, Base 44 generates the full upload section automatically. It creates a clean image picker. It adds a preview box that updates as soon as a file is chosen. And as you can see here, it places a Scan Now button right under it. Now, that button doesn't do anything, not just yet, but visually, everything is already structured like a working scanner app. So let's go ahead and test it out by dropping in a random document screenshot. And there you go. As you can see, it appears instantly in the preview. Now, since the upload feature is already working pretty smoothly, we can now move on to building the AI-powered scanning system that will bring our app finally to life. So text recognition is where the app finally starts working like an actual scanner. So uploading an image is is great and all, but being able to pull real text out of that image is what turns this into something actually useful. And that's why I'm going to teach Base44 how to scan a document image and then convert it into clean, editable text. We'll guide Base44 with this prompt so it knows exactly what to build out. Great. Now please build the scanning functionality. Utilize your own AI to scan images, then convert those to text. After scanning an image, show the results at the end and a button for the user to confirm if they want to save it. And once Base44 finishes generating that feature, we now have a functional AI-powered scanner. The Scan Now button here triggers Base44's recognition engine. It extracts the text and then places the results in a clean output section. It even includes a confirmation button so that our users can save their scanned document afterward. Now here you can see that after running the feature with the same image from earlier, the extracted text does show up correctly. I'm going to title it and save it, which means the core scanning feature is now officially working and ready for the next steps. All right, so we all know that it's one thing to extract text, but being able to treat it like a proper document, to preview it, format it, save it, and come back to it later on is what brings this whole project together. So right now, I want to build a full document creation flow, similar to what you'd expect in apps like Word or Google Docs. To do that, we need to guide Base44 again with a clear prompt so it knows exactly what features to put in place. Please make the scan text as a document. Whenever a user scans an image and after parsing the text, add an option to save it as a document. Create a modal to visualize this and create a preview to show the user what the document will look like. Have formatting options available as well. Make sure this also saves in the application's history. Please build this functionality similar to dedicated applications like Word and Google Docs. And with that prompt, after Base44 finishes generating our latest update, we now have a document creation system built right into the app. So once the text is scanned, a new option appears here, allowing the user to save it as a document. A preview modal also pops up showing exactly how the document will look. And there's also formatting tools like text alignment or styling, all the things that we're used to. They're all available so users can adjust things before actually saving the file. And after testing it with the same scanned image from earlier, everything looks like it's working pretty smoothly. Now I'm able to save it as a formatted document, and the final version automatically shows up in our app's history section as well. So this means the foundation for document editing is now complete, and we're ready now to build the next feature on top of it. Okay, so now that the app can scan text and then turn it into a clean document, the next thing that I want to add is the ability for our users to sign those documents digitally. Now, this is one of those features that instantly makes the app feel more complete, especially for anyone using it for work, for school, or of course, for forms. So in this part, we're going to add a simple signature pad that lets users draw in their signature and then place it directly inside of their document. So to do that, let's ask Base44 to add a digital signature feature. Create an Add Signature button that allows users to write their signature in the document modal. Create Clear and Apply buttons for this. Once applied, place the signature at the bottom of the document. So with this gives Base44 all the instructions it needs to build out the full signature workflow. Once Base44 finishes generating everything, we can go ahead and test it out right away. So I'm going to upload the same image from earlier. I'm going to now extract the text and save it as a document. Here inside the preview, the new Add Signature option finally shows up exactly where it should. Now, if I tap it, a signature pad does appear and I can draw out my signature, clear it if I need to redo it, and apply it once I'm happy with it. After applying, the signature is automatically placed at the bottom right here corner of the document. And when I do save it, it also shows up in the history section with the signature included. And with that, we now have scanning, text extraction, document creation, formatting, and yes, digital signing all working together, which are the core experience of a real document tool. Now, there's one thing nearly every document scanning app has in common. Most people take photos of their document instead of uploading them. So at this point, it makes sense to add a built-in camera feature, right? So that our users can point their device at a page and then quickly snap a picture without having to leave the app. To get that in place, we're going to tell Base44, please add a take photo/camera feature. Utilize the functionality that we have here for the scanning mechanism and the flow afterwards. Whenever this is clicked, have it use the device's camera and be able to take a photo. Simple as that. Doing that gives Base44 everything it needs to attach the camera directly to the scanning workflow in our app. After sending that prompt, the new camera button also appears now in our interface. You can see me here tapping on it, which confirms that the feature has been added. Although the recording won't show a live camera feed right now, since this demo isn't being filmed on a phone, on a real device, tapping that button opens up the camera. It lets you take a picture and sends the image straight into the same scanning flow that we have built out earlier. And now that the app supports both uploads and real-time photo capture, the next steps are handling saving and exporting. Once the document tools start coming together, the next thing that most people will look for in our app is a way to take their files out of the app. Now, nobody wants a scanner that only keeps everything all locked inside of it. So the goal here is simple. Give users a clean way to save their scanned documents as real files like PDFs, JPEGs, PNGs, whatever they need for work, school, or personal use. And for us to make that happen, this is what we're going to tell Base44. Add save and export functionality with multiple format options. Create buttons for save as PDF and other file types. When clicked, generate the file in the selected format and then save it to download. Apply this to the saved documents. And with that, Base44 handles all of the setup, and once it's done, the export buttons appear right here inside the document viewer. And after testing it, as you can see, everything works out pretty smoothly. Here you can see that I am reopening the same scanned document from the history tab. I'm going to choose the PDF option, and the browser instantly downloads the file for me, exactly the way a real scanner app should behave. Now, before we can hand everything over to Despia for packaging and App Store submission, there is one quick adjustment that we do need to make inside of Base44, because the app currently requires users to log in before accessing it. But for Despia to load it properly, it needs to be fully open to the public. So we're going to switch that setting off. To do that, we need to open the Publish menu here in the top right corner of Base44. Inside of our settings, there's an option called Public Access, Login Required. All I have to do is simply uncheck Require Login to access, then publish the app again and copy the new public link. Now, once that's done, the project is officially ready for Despia. Now, this link is what Despia uses as the app starting point. So from here on out, we can move straight into the setup and submission steps. Starting the Despia setup can look a little intimidating at first, but once you understand the flow and a lot of it repeats, it's actually really straightforward. Think of this step as moving your finished Base44 app into its App Store packaging area. Everything we do here is simply prepping Despia with the information and the visuals it needs before it can build the iOS version for us. So to begin, let's head on over to Despia's website and create a brand new app project. This is where the app will live while we get it ready for App Store Connect. So let's go ahead and give our project a name. And for this part, anything works here, but for this build specifically, I'm going to use Document Scanner Pro. In the field labeled Web App Store URL, we just simply need to paste the public link we copied from Base44 earlier. And that link tells Despia exactly where the live version of our web app is located. And once the project is created, I'm taken to the dashboard here. And the first thing we need to do is scroll through the sidebar to find app icon and branding. Despia needs an iOS icon before we can move forward. So let's go ahead and upload a 1024 by 1024 image. For this demo, I'm just using a blank white canvas, but normally you do have to upload your actual app icon. And right below that, Despia also needs a splash screen. So we are going to upload upload the GIF in the splash screen layout section here. For this next part, everything starts to feel real because connecting your Apple developer account is the point where Despia gains permission to actually publish your app to the App Store. Now, it might look technical at first glance, like I said, but the process is really just copying a few IDs and uploading one file. So to begin, we'll begin by opening the right side panel inside Despia and looking for build history. And from there, let's hit the deploy build button, which opens the deployment sidebar. This sidebar is where Despia collects all of our credentials that it needs from our Apple developer account. Okay, so after the panel opens here, let's scroll down until we can see build configuration. Click the option for development team, then choose to add a new team. Doing this automatically opens the Connect with App Store Connect panel, and that's where we enter every required Apple credential. We will now start by generating the API key ID and the P8 key file, since Despia needs those to authenticate securely with Apple servers. To do that, I just go to the App Store Connect API page and I create a new API key. I can name it anything, but again, for this demo specifically, I name it Document Scanner Pro Despia. I assign the key to App Manager role, I generate it, and then I'll copy the key ID. That key ID is pasted directly into the Connect API key field inside Despia. I also download the generated P8 key file, then upload that file back into Despia in the same section. Next up is the account issuer ID. For that, we can just stay on the App Store Connect API page, then where the issuer ID is displayed right at the top of the dashboard. I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna paste it into its field inside Despia. Finally, we need to gather the development team ID. So let's go ahead and go to the Apple developer account resources page. And at the top right corner of the dashboard, I can see here my team ID displayed. So let's copy that value and then just paste it back into Despia as well. Now, once all those three fields, the API key ID, the account issuer ID, and the development team ID are filled in and the P8 key file is uploaded, let's click Link with Apple, which is the purple button at the bottom of the panel. Despia processes the details, and once the link is successful, we'll return to the build configuration dropdown and then select the development team that we just connected. After accomplishing that, Despia is now officially linked to the Apple developer account. Everything is authenticated and ready for the next stage, which is going through the build requirements. After the Apple developer account is linked, Despia immediately shows us a list of identifier targets that we need to configure before any build can be submitted to App Store Connect. Now, this is the part that usually intimidates most first-time developers, but really it's just a checklist, as you'll see. Each item needs its own identifier inside your Apple developer dashboard, and Despia walks you through exactly which ones to create. Now, the first setup we will handle is the app bundle, which acts as the main identity of your entire application inside Apple's ecosystem. To create it, I'll open the Apple developer portal and I'm gonna head on over to the identifier section. From there, we'll create a new identifier and select app ID. In type, I'll choose app and continue. Despia already generated a bundle ID for this project earlier, so I'll just paste that value into the bundle ID field. Now for the description, I'll enter the app's name, in this case, Document Scanner Pro. Apple also requires that we enable specific capabilities so the app can function correctly. So for this specific project, I will enable app attest, app groups, associated domains, iCloud with CloudKit support, and push notifications with broadcast capability. Now, once all the required capabilities are selected, we can now continue and finalize our registration. After saving, the new app bundle identifier now appears in the list, confirming that the main identity for Document Scanner Pro is officially set up and now ready to be connected back to Despia. The next identifier we need to set up is the one signal target, which handles push notification functionality in our app. Now I'm going to start by going back into Despia and copying the push bundle ID assigned to the one signal target. Then we need to return to the identifier section of my Apple developer account, and I'm going to create a new identifier, just like before. So I'll choose app ID, select app, and paste the one signal bundle ID into the bundle ID field. Now, for the description, I'll label it clearly as Document Scanner Pro one signal, so I can easily recognize what this identifier is tied to later on. Once the base details are set, we need to enable the capabilities required for push notifications to work properly. This includes app groups, associated domains, and push notifications with broadcast capabilities. After continuing and registering the identifier, it now appears as part of the account. Now that the one signal app ID is created, the next step is to build its corresponding app group. So I'm going to create another new identifier here. I'm going to choose app group and paste the push app group ID that Despia provided here in the description. Of course, I'm going to name it Document Scanner Pro one signal app group so that it's very clear to me that this group is linked specifically to the one signal target. After registering it, the new group is ready to attach. So to finish the setup here, we'll go back to the one signal identifier. We're going to scroll down to the app groups capability, and then we are going to choose configure. Inside the configuration panel, let's select the app group that I just created and then save the update. And with that, the one signal identifier and its app group are now properly connected, and the notification framework is fully prepared for the final build. So setting up the app clip target is a little different from the previous identifiers, but the overall flow will still feel familiar. So we'll start by going back into the identifier section in my Apple developer account and creating a new identifier. Just like before, I'm going to choose app ID. This time, Apple gives me an extra option, so I'll select app clip on the next page here. In the parent app ID field, let's pick our main bundle ID, Document Scanner Pro. So the system knows that this clip belongs to the full app. For the product name, I will simply type clip, then move forward to the description and label it, again, of course, Document Scanner Pro app clip to keep everything organized. Next, let's enable the capabilities required for the app clip to function properly, namely app groups, associated domains, and again, push notifications. After confirming and registering, the app clip identifier is now officially created. So from here, we will repeat a familiar step, building the app group for this target. I'll create another app group identifier. I'm going to name it Document Scanner Pro app clip app group, and then paste the clip app group ID provided by Despia into the identifier field. After registering it, the group becomes available to attach. Now, to wrap up this part of our setup, let's open the newly created app clip identifier and then scroll down to the app groups capability. I'll click configure, select the app clip app group I just made, and then save everything. Once that's done, now both the app clip identifier and its dedicated app group are now properly connected, and the app clip target is ready to be included in the build process. So for this next one, the share target setup is pretty quick, but it is still something we have to wire up correctly so that Despia and Apple stay in sync. So let's start by grabbing the share target bundle ID from Despia, then heading back into the identifiers page in my Apple developer account to set up a new entry. I'll pick app ID, choose app, and paste the bundle ID so everything lines up. For the description, I am going to label it again, of course, Document Scanner Pro Share Target. Nothing fancy, just something that clearly tells me what this ID is for. Now, since this target only needs one capability, let's turn on app groups and register it. After that, we need to switch back to Despia for the group ID that pairs with this target. target. So we'll create a new app group identifier in Apple's dashboard. We're going to name it Document Scanner Pro Share Target App Group. We're going to paste in the ID and save it. Once the group exists, all that's left is connecting the dots. To finish things off, let's open up the Share Target identifier I created earlier. We're going to scroll to the app group section here, hit configure, and select the app group that I just made. And now we can save the update, and that's it. The Share Target is officially linked and ready to go. Now, the Smart Widget setup is the last of the smaller configuration tasks, and it follows the same general pattern that we've been following so far. But I'll walk you through it cleanly so that nothing gets missed. So let's begin by copying the Smart Widget bundle ID from Despia, then heading back into the Apple Developer Identifiers page to create a new app ID. Here, I'm going to choose App, paste the bundle ID into the correct field, and name it Document Scanner Pro Widget, so it's easy to recognize later on. And since this widget only needs app groups, I'll enable that capability and register the identifier. Next, we'll switch back over to Despia to grab the group ID that pairs with this target. And with that copied, we can now return to the identifiers page and create a new app group entry. In the description, I am going to label it again, Document Scanner Pro Widget App Group. I'm going to paste the group identifier and register it. That gives me both pieces, the main identifier and its corresponding group. To finish the setup, we need to open the widget identifier that we created earlier and go to the app group section. We'll click configure, select the widget app group that we just created, and save everything. And once that's done, the Smart Widget target is properly connected and ready for use. And with that, another required target is checked off of our list. So once all the individual identifiers are created, it's time to tie everything together. And this part is basically about just making sure the main app bundle knows about every app group that we've set up. So let's open up the identifiers page in the Apple Developer Dashboard and then look for our primary bundle, the Document Scanner Pro, the very first one that we created. Inside of its settings, I scroll to the app group section and hit edit. A modal pops up showing every group that we've built so far, and I simply check all four of them: the one signal group, the app clip group, the shared target group, and the widget group. After saving, the configuration is complete and the bundle now recognizes every connected feature. Good job so far, right? And with that out of the way, I'll move over to the App Store Connect to actually create the app project that will receive our build. In the app section, I choose New App, set the platform to iOS, enter the name Document Scanner Pro, and select English as the primary language. Now, for the bundle ID, I'll choose the same one that we just finished configuring. The SKU can be anything unique, so writing the name in all caps also works fine. Since the exact app name is already taken, I will slightly adjust it to Document Scanner Pro-Scan It, which is completely normal because thousands of apps get registered every single week. After creating the app, I go to the app information page and copy the Apple ID assigned to it. Now, back here in Despia, scroll down the right sidebar and paste that Apple ID into the App Store App ID field so that Despia knows exactly where to send the build. Now, at this point, everything is connected and ready, and all that's left is to hit the Publish Project in Despia. And that starts the build process, generates the .ipa, and sends it directly to the App Store Connect. Now, depending on the size of the project and the configuration, it can take a bit to finish, but once it does, Despia marks the build as successful. And that means our app is officially ready for the final submission steps. Now, submitting an app to the App Store always comes with one last round of details to fill out, and this is where most people slow down. Not because it's complicated, but because Apple is very specific about what needs to be provided. So in this final part, we're going through all of those requirements so that our build we're doing together, just sent from Despia, can actually be reviewed. Now, before we touch anything inside App Store Connect, we do need one important requirement ready: a privacy policy URL. well. So every app, no matter how simple, needs a privacy policy. So the first thing we're going to do is generate a basic policy that we can link to. Let's head over to privacypolicygenerator.info, select the app option and run through the setup. If this is a full production release, you do need to answer each question based on how your app handles user data. But since this is just a demo build, I'll keep everything simple here and mark data collection questions as no. Once the policy is generated, we can just copy the link, and that's the URL we're going to plug into App Store Connect in the next steps. Since the privacy policy link is now ready, I'm going to head over to App Store Connect and then open up the distribution section for the app. Now this is where we'll fill in all the details Apple needs before a build can move forward. I'm going to start here by uploading the required screenshots, 3 for iPhone and then another set for iPad. These don't have to be perfect for the demo here, but for a real release, you do want clean visuals that do represent the app accurately. So next up, I'll set the basic store information. For the promotional text, I'll use Document Scanner Pro -scan it, and the description will read Document Scanner Pro is a simple document scanner application. Under keywords, we're going with scanning files and documents to help with App Store search. For the support URL, I'm going to just paste in the privacy policy link that we generated earlier. I'll also set the version number to 1.0.0. This has to match the configuration in Despia, and add the copyright line Document Scanner Pro. After that, I'll scroll down and I'm going to choose the build that Despia submitted. In the app review information section here, we're going to turn off the sign in required option since our app doesn't use authentication. Now for apps that do require a login, this part will be different. So that setting depends entirely on the project. And once everything is filled out and double checked, of course, I'm gonna head back up and hit save to lock everything in so we can move on to the final submission steps. After saving the distribution details, we can now move over to the app information section. Now this is where we fill out some of the general metadata for the App Store listing. And I'll start by adding a subtitle, and for this project, we are using Your Daily Companion. Next, I'll choose the app's categories. So for this demo, health and fitness works just fine, but remember, this will always depend on the type of app that you are building. After that, we'll set the content rights to no, since the app doesn't use or collect any third-party content. Apple also requires an age rating review, so I'm going to go through the questionnaire here and select no for each item because our app doesn't include any sensitive or restricted material. And once everything is filled out, I'll click save so we can move on to the final steps. I promise you, final for real. And after that, we'll head on over to the pricing and availability section. And this part is pretty quick and easy. I'll just add the pricing for the app and set it to $0.00 since we are releasing this app as a free app for the demo. Once the price is selected, I'll just review the country and region list that Apple shows me, and I'm gonna confirm my selection. Next, we'll set the app's availability. I'm choosing all countries and regions so that the app can be downloaded worldwide once it is approved. After confirming the list, everything here is ready to go and we can move on to the privacy setup. Next, I'm going to set up the app's privacy section, which Apple does require for every submission. I'll open the app privacy tab here, then update the privacy policy by pasting in the link that we generated earlier. After saving that, I'll click Get Started to begin the data collection setup. Now, since our scanner needs access to user images, I'm going to select Yes for data collection. On the next screen, I'll choose image as the only data type because that's the only thing that our app interacts with. And once that's confirmed, I'll walk through the rest of Apple's prompts. I'm going to review everything and then save the configuration. When it's all set, I'll hit publish to finalize the privacy section. For the last and final part of this process, I am going to send the app for review. I'll return to the Prepare for Submissions page here. I'm going to click Add for Review, and once the submission appears in the list, I'll select it and hit Submit for Review. And that is finally it. The app is now officially in Apple's review queue. And that's a wrap on everything from the first base 44 prompt to the final App Store submission. We've covered every step that you need to build and ship an app with AI in 2026. Thanks for watching with me today, and I'll catch you at the next one.